I remember standing at the edge of complete failure, no money in my bank account, debts piling up, and that gnawing voice inside telling me to give up. The odds seemed insurmountable, but here's what I discovered in that moment of truth. Your mind is the most powerful tool you will ever possess. I was sleeping in my car, using a gym membership just to take showers, and eating the cheapest food I could find. My friends and family thought I had lost my mind for not giving up on my dreams and getting a real job. Maybe they were right. Maybe I was crazy. But something deep inside kept telling me that giving up wasn't an option. What separates winners from everyone else isn't talent. It isn't luck. It isn't even intelligence. It's the absolute refusal to quit. During those cold nights in my car, I started studying successful people, not their achievements, but their failures. And I discovered something remarkable. Every single one of them had faced moments where quitting seemed like the only logical choice. What I'm about to share with you transformed my life completely. It wasn't just about positive thinking. Though that's part of it, it wasn't just about working harder. Though that matters too, it was about fundamentally rewiring my mind to eliminate the very concept of quitting from my consciousness. One particular night stands out. I was down to my last $5, and I had to make a choice between buying food or putting gas in my car to get to a potential client meeting the next morning. As I stood there at the gas station, something clicked. I realized that every great achievement in history was built on moments exactly like this. Moments where ordinary people made extraordinary decisions. I put $2 worth of gas in my car, bought a small loaf of bread with the remaining money, and spent that entire night preparing for the meeting, not just reviewing my notes, but conditioning my mind. I told myself over and over, this moment of pain is temporary. My success is inevitable if I refuse to quit. The next morning, I didn't just attend that meeting, I owned it. Not because I was the most qualified person in the room, but because I had developed something more valuable, an unshakable mental toughness. That meeting became my first major client, the cornerstone of what would become a much larger success story. Your story, right now, is at a similar crossroads. Maybe you are not sleeping in your car, maybe your challenges are different, but you are facing that same fundamental choice, to quit or to persevere. And the beautiful truth is that you already have everything you need to succeed. It's all in your mind. The key to building unstoppable mental strength isn't found in some secret formula. It's found in understanding that your mind is like a muscle. It grows stronger with every rep. Every challenge, every moment you choose to push through instead of giving up. When you train your mind to never quit, you are not just developing resilience. You are literally rewiring your brain for success. Every time you have wanted to quit in the past, but pushed through anyway, you weren't just surviving that moment. You were building mental strength that would serve you for the rest of your life. This is where true transformation begins. And the exciting part is, we are just scratching the surface of what's possible when you master the art of mental toughness. Now, let me share with you the exact system I developed during those challenging times. A proven method for building unshakable mental strength that will transform the way you approach every challenge in your life. Your mind is the most powerful computer ever created. And just like a computer, it runs on programs you can rewrite and optimize during those long nights of studying success and failure. I discovered something fascinating about the human mind that changed everything for me. And it's about to change everything for you too. Every single thought you have creates a neural pathway in your brain. When you repeat these thoughts, these pathways become stronger, like turning a dirt trail into a superhighway. The problem is, most people are running on mental programs they didn't consciously choose. They're operating on limiting beliefs installed by their parents, teachers, friends, or past failures. I discovered this truth the hard way. Growing up, I constantly heard phrases like, money does not grow on trees, and people like us don't get those kinds of opportunities. These weren't just words. They became deeply embedded programs in my mind. And for years, these limiting beliefs controlled my actions without me even realizing it. It does not know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When I was at my lowest point, I started experimenting with this principle. Every morning, before doing anything else, I would sit quietly for 10 minutes and vividly imagine myself achieving my goals. I wouldn't just see it, I would feel it, smell it. Taste it. I made it so real in my mind that my brain started accepting it as truth. The science behind this is absolutely fascinating. Your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters information, starts looking for opportunities that match your mental programming. It's like when you buy a new car and suddenly start seeing that same model everywhere. Those cars were always there. But now your brain is programmed to notice them. I remember the exact moment this principle clicked for me. I was walking through a wealthy neighborhood, something I used to do to study success up close. In the past, I would look at those beautiful homes and think, I could never afford this. But after reprogramming my mind, I started thinking, this is exactly where I'm headed. The homes didn't change. The economy didn't change. My bank account hadn't changed yet. But my mental programming had shifted dramatically. Your habits are simply the physical manifestation of your mental programming. Want to know what programs are running in your mind? Look at your daily habits. They tell the whole story. The good news is, you can install new habits by deliberately reprogramming your mind. Part with this powerful exercise I developed. Take out a piece of paper right now. Write down your 3 biggest goals now underneath each goal, right? Why is this absolutely achievable for me? Like, your mind will automatically start searching for answers. This isn't positive thinking. This is strategic mental conditioning. The key to breaking limiting beliefs is understanding that they're not facts. They're just programs. And programs can be updated. Every time you catch yourself thinking, I can't, immediately replace it with, how can I? This simple shift moves your mind from a passive state to an active, solution-finding state. I used this exact technique when building my business. Instead of thinking, I don't have enough experience, I started asking, how can I gain the experience I need? Instead, I don't have enough connections. It became, how can I build valuable relationships? The quality of your life is determined by the quality of questions you consistently ask yourself. The science of habit formation tells us it takes approximately 21 days to form a new habit. But most people don't understand. It's not about the time frame. It's about the intensity of your mental conditioning during that period. When you combine vivid visualization with consistent action, you can literally rewire your brain in a matter of weeks. Each morning, challenge you to spend the first 30 minutes of your day conditioning your mind, read something positive and educational, visualize your goals with intense detail, write down your achievements from the previous day, no matter how small. This morning ritual will literally reprogram your mental computer for success. Your mind is either working for you or against you. There's no neutral ground. Every thought either moves you closer to your goals or further away. The exciting part is that you get to choose which thoughts you entertain and which ones you eliminate. This power of choice is where your true potential begins to unfold. The foundation of unstoppable mental toughness rests on 7 core pillars that I've discovered through years of research and personal experience. These are not just theories. They're battle-tested principles that have transformed countless lives, including my own. Most people wander through life like they're in a fog, with vague ideas about what they want. But mental toughness begins with crystal clear vision. I'm talking about the kind of clarity where you can describe your goals in such vivid detail that anyone listening could see exactly what you are seeing. When I was rebuilding my life, I wrote down my purpose statement and read it aloud 3 times every single day. I described exactly what I wanted to achieve, why I wanted to achieve it, and most importantly, who I needed to become to make it happen. Unwavering commitment. This goes far beyond mere interest or desire. Think about this. How many times have you started something with enthusiasm only to quit when things got tough? Commitment means burning your boats. Eliminating any possibility of retreat. When I made my commitment to success, I literally wrote a contract with myself and signed it. This wasn't just paperwork. It was a sacred covenant with myself that I would rather die trying than give up on my dreams. Take full responsibility for everything in your life, not 99% responsibility, 100%. This means no excuses, no blame, no justifications. The moment you embrace total responsibility, you take back your power. During my darkest times, I stopped blaming the economy, my background, my lack of education. Everything changed when I said, I am responsible for where I am, and I am responsible for where I'm going. Mental toughness is built in moments of discomfort. Every morning, I do something that makes me uncomfortable, whether it's taking a cold shower, making that difficult phone call, or tackling my most challenging task first. Your comfort zone is your enemy. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you are choosing to stay exactly where you are. Success is not an event. It's a habit. Mental toughness isn't built in moments of inspiration. It's built through daily, consistent action. I developed what I call the power hour, the first hour of every day dedicated to personal development. Reading, planning, visualizing, and physical exercise. This isn't about motivation, it's about installation. You are literally installing success programs in your mental computer. Your internal dialogue shapes your reality more than any external circumstance. I discovered that the average person has about 50,000 thoughts per day, and for most people, 80% of those thoughts are negative. You must become the guardian of your mental garden. Pulling out negative thoughts like weeds and planting positive, empowering thoughts in their place. When I face a challenge, I immediately ask myself, what's good about this? What can I learn from this? Advanced visualization techniques isn't daydreaming. This is strategic mental rehearsal. Olympic athletes use this technique to prepare for competition, and you can use it to prepare for any challenge in your life. Every evening, I spend 10 minutes visualizing my next day in perfect detail, seeing myself executing my plans flawlessly, handling challenges with confidence, and moving closer to my goals. When you achieve something significant, you will notice that all these elements were present, even if you weren't conscious of them at the time. I remember applying these principles during a particularly challenging period. I had a major presentation that could either make or break my business. Instead of letting anxiety control me, I used these pillars systematically. I got crystal clear on my purpose, not just to make a sale, but to genuinely provide value. I committed fully to preparation, taking complete responsibility for the outcome. I embraced the discomfort of practicing until exhaustion. I maintained strict discipline in my preparation schedule. I monitored my self-talk religiously, and I visualized success repeatedly. The result, that presentation became a turning point in my career, not because I was the most qualified person in the room, but because I had developed unshakable mental toughness through these 7 pillars. The beauty of this system is that it's not dependent on your circumstances, whether you're starting a business, losing weight, building relationships, or pursuing any other goal. These pillars provide the mental framework for unstoppable success. They're like the operating system of achievement. Once installed, they run automatically. Mental toughness isn't a personality trait. It's a skill, and like any skill, it can be developed through consistent practice and the right methodology. These 7 pillars provide the exact blueprint you need to develop the kind of mental toughness that makes quitting impossible. Building resilience isn't just about bouncing back, it's about bouncing forward. Let me share something powerful I discovered during my journey that completely transformed my approach to building mental strength. It's a system I call success stacking, and it starts with your morning ritual. Your morning ritual isn't just about starting your day. It's about programming your mind for inevitable success. I developed a specific sequence that I call the Power 5-45. The first 5 minutes are spent in complete silence, focusing on gratitude. The next 40 minutes are divided between physical exercise and strategic planning. The final 5 minutes are dedicated to reviewing your core goals and affirming your commitment to them. What makes this ritual different? It's not about perfection, it's about progression. Too many people try to make massive changes overnight and fail. I discovered that true resilience is built through what I call the 1% solution. Every day, focus on getting just 1% better in your key areas. This small improvement, compounded daily, creates extraordinary results. When I started implementing this strategy, I couldn't even do 5 push-ups. Instead of getting discouraged, I committed to adding just 1 push-up every 3 days. Within 6 months, I could do over 50. This same principle applies to every area of your life. Your skills, your relationships, your mental toughness, handling setbacks. Because this is where most people crumble, I developed what I call the 3R method: recognize, reframe, and redirect. When you face a setback, first recognize it for what it is. A temporary event, not a permanent condition. Then reframe it as feedback rather than failure. Finally, redirect your energy toward finding solutions. I remember applying this method during a particularly challenging period. I had just lost a major client that represented 40% of my business. Instead of panicking, recognized the situation for what it was: a temporary setback. I reframed it as an opportunity to diversify my client base. Then I redirected my energy into reaching out to new prospects. Within 60 days, I had replaced that income with 3 new clients, making my business more stable than before. Building emotional strength is crucial for lasting resilience. I developed a technique called emotional time travel. When facing a challenging situation, project yourself 5 years into the future and look back at this moment. Will this challenge matter then? Usually, the answer is no. This perspective instantly reduces emotional reactivity and helps you maintain clarity. Create what I call a victory log every evening. Write down 3 wins from your day, no matter how small. This trains your brain to focus on progress rather than problems when you review your victory log during tough times. It provides concrete evidence of your capability to overcome challenges. The key to building unshakable resilience is understanding that comfort is the enemy of growth. I intentionally put myself in challenging situations every week. Maybe it's speaking at an event when I'm nervous, making that difficult phone call first thing in the morning, or tackling the hardest task on my list before anything else. Each time you push through discomfort, you are building resilience muscle. Resilience isn't about avoiding failure. It's about failing forward. Every setback contains the seeds of an equal or greater comeback. The question isn't whether you will face challenges, you will. The question is whether you have developed the resilience to turn those challenges into stepping stones. I discovered that true emotional strength comes from what I call the gratitude shift. When facing a difficult situation, immediately list 3 things you are grateful for about that situation. This isn't positive thinking. It's strategic thinking that builds emotional resilience. Your brain cannot be in a state of gratitude and a state of fear simultaneously. Building resilience, not just about being tough. It's about being smart tough. It's about developing systems and strategies that support your success. Think of resilience like a muscle. It needs both stress and recovery to grow stronger. That's why your success ritual is so important. It provides the foundation for consistent growth. The most powerful realization about resilience is this. It's not about what happens to you. It's about what happens in you. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to strengthen your resilience muscle. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Success isn't an accident. It's a science. Over years of studying achievement, I've developed what I call the achievement multiplication system. This isn't just another goal-setting program. It's a comprehensive methodology for turning any goal into reality through systematic action. Most people set goals that excite them initially, but don't drive them to action. The key is what I call the 3 dimensions of goal setting. Your goals must be specific enough to be measurable, big enough to be exciting, and clear enough to be actionable. When I was rebuilding my life, I didn't just write down, I want to be successful. I wrote, I will generate $120,000 in the next 12 months by serving 20 clients with my expertise. You need to set goals that pull you forward rather than goals you have to push yourself toward. I develop what I call magnetic goals. These are goals that are so compelling, so deeply connected to your core values, that they literally pull you out of bed in the morning. Write down your goal. Then ask yourself, why must I achieve this? 7 times, each time going deeper. This process reveals the emotional fuel that will drive you through obstacles. I discovered something I call the 90-day impact cycles. Instead of getting overwhelmed by annual goals, break them down into 90-day achievement sprints. Each morning I identify my high-impact 3. The 3 actions that will move me closest to my biggest goal. This isn't about being busy. It's about being strategic. When I set out to write my first book, instead of focusing on writing an entire manuscript, I broke it down into 90-day cycles. The first cycle was dedicated to research and outlining. The second cycle focused on writing the first draft. The third cycle was about editing and refinement. This systematic approach turned an overwhelming goal into manageable daily actions. Progress tracking is where most goal-setting systems fall apart. I developed what I call the success score system. Every action related to your goal gets a score from 1 to 5 based on its potential impact. At the end of each week, multiply your completion rate by your impact scores. This gives you a concrete measure of your progress and helps you identify where to focus your energy. Let me share a powerful insight about progress tracking. It's not just about measuring what you do, it's about measuring what you become. Read types of metrics, the actual outcomes, activity metrics, the actions taken, and identity metrics on maturing the process. This three-dimensional tracking system ensures you are growing, not just going through the motions. Course correction is where the real magic happens. I developed the weekly success review, a systematic process for evaluating your progress and adjusting your approach. What's not working? What's not working? What's not working? What one change would create the biggest impact? This simple but powerful process keeps you on track and accelerating toward your goals. Course correction, not about perfection. It's about progression. I use what I call the 30-day testing cycles. Any new strategy or approach gets tested for 30 days before making a judgment. This removes emotion from the equation and lets data drive your decisions. The most powerful element of the achievement formula is what I call success stacking. Each quarter, identify one key habit or skill that would multiply your effectiveness. Focus intensely on installing that one habit for 90 days. By the end of the year, you have stacked 4 powerful success habits that work together synergistically. Speed of implementation is everything. The moment you set a goal, take immediate action, even if it's small. I call this the 5-minute rule. Within 5 minutes of setting any goal, take one concrete action toward its achievement. This creates immediate momentum and bypasses procrastination. Every goal you set creates a psychological gap between where you are and where you want to be. The achievement formula does not just help you bridge that gap. It turns the gap itself into a source of energy and motivation. Each step forward reinforces your commitment and builds your confidence. The real power of this formula lies in its compound effect. Each small win builds momentum. Each achieved goal strengthens your success mindset. Each course correction makes you smarter and more strategic. You are not just achieving goals. You are building an unstoppable achievement machine. Let me share the specific action steps you need to take right now to put everything we have covered into immediate action. Remember what I told you about those nights in my car, about making that choice between gas and food. That moment wasn't any different from the moment you are in right now. The only difference was the decision to take immediate, decisive action. Let me pull together everything we have covered into 5 specific action steps you can take right now. First, take out a piece of paper. Write down your biggest goal, the one that both excites and scares you. Remember, if your goal does not scare you a little, it's not big enough, make it specific, make it measurable, and most importantly, make it meaningful. Second, commit to your Power 5, 45 morning ritual starting tomorrow morning. 5 minutes of silence, 40 minutes of exercise and planning, 5 minutes of goal review. This isn't a suggestion. This is your new standard operating procedure for success. Your morning ritual is non-negotiable. Third, start your victory log tonight. Write down 3 wins from today, no matter how small. This simple act begins reprogramming your mind for success. Remember, what you focus on expands when you focus on progress. You create more progress. Fourth, identify your high impact 3 for tomorrow. The 3 actions that will move you closest to your biggest goal. Write them down and commit to completing them before doing anything else. This is about priority, not time management. Fifth, and this is crucial, make a public commitment to your goal. Tell someone who matters to you. Share it on social media. Write it down and put it where you will see it every day. Remember, commitment is the bridge between intention and action. 20 years from now, you will look back at this day. You will either remember it as the day you made a decision that changed everything, or it'll be just another forgotten day where you let opportunity slip through your fingers. The choice is yours, and the time is now. Everything you want in life, every dream, every goal, every ambition exists on the other side of decisive action. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is the willingness to act in spite of fear, in spite of doubt, in spite of uncertainty. Commit to living by the principles we have discussed. 30 days of your Power 545. Ritual, 30 days of tracking your victory log, 30 days of identifying and completing your high impact 3. 30 days of pushing through discomfort and building mental toughness. Don't wait for motivation. Motivation follows action. Don't wait for the perfect moment. That moment is now. Don't wait until you feel ready. You build readiness through action. Every morning you stick to your ritual. Every small win you log, every uncomfortable action you take, they're all building blocks of your inevitable success. Success is not an event. It's a process, and that process begins right now. You have everything you need to succeed, the strategies, the systems, the knowledge, it's all here. The only question remaining is, what are you going to do with it? Will you let this be just another seminar you attended? just another speech you heard? Or will this be the moment you look back on and say, that's when everything changed? The decision is yours. The time is now. And I believe in you completely. You wouldn't have stayed to the end of this speech if you weren't ready for transformation. You wouldn't feel that fire in your gut if you weren't meant for more. Take out your phone right now. Set your alarm for tomorrow morning's Power 5:45 ritual. Write down your high impact 3 for tomorrow. Make that first entry in your victory log. Take that first step right now.